All right. I'm Gavin Lara, and the reason I had to insert this title here is honestly because you could call this a lot of different things, and it won't matter, because what I'm actually going to share with you guys today is what's going to be the content that actually provides the value for everything I'm saying. So, the title, not a big deal, but I'm going to give you guys a little rundown on who I am so you guys can get a better understanding of where I'm coming from. So, I was introduced to business really my junior year, so you guys are way ahead of me. So that's great already at this point. So I was introduced in my junior year, okay? And I was in my bed watching YouTube, like many of you guys probably do, right? And when you're on the recommended videos right below? Yeah.
Recommended section.
Yep, he knows. So I was down there, right? I was scrolling and I saw this one video, and the title, super clickbaity, but the title was How to Start an Online Business with $0 down. Okay, now that sounds pretty cool, right?
Yes.
Zero money down, you could start your own business. So I was intrigued. It was around 8 minutes long. I was like, what's the risk to watching this video for 8 minutes? If it wastes my time, it's just 8 minutes, but I was so intrigued, so I watched it, okay? I watched it, and it seemed pretty legit, and I was confused because I thought it was too good to be true, and if something's too good to be true, it usually is, that's what I've been told my whole life. So I decided to pursue that further. I looked further into it, watched more YouTube videos, went on Instagram, found other people who were doing this business method. And I studied it for around 2 months. 2 months, I studied this business method. I did lots of research, found all these different methods, ways to do it. It was great. I was so excited. I thought I was going to be making thousands of dollars a week. A week. All these people on YouTube were. They were. So I go into it, after 2 months of preparation, I make my website. It took me a long time. It was called Modern Dream Room. It was room decor items for the target audience of females about the ages 15 through 25, okay? And I was excited. I watched all these videos. There's no way that this wasn't gonna work until it didn't. So I ran my first ad, right? I remember I was so excited. I had it all scheduled. It was with an Instagram influencer. So just like an account, I DM'd and we arranged a price for my product to be shown on their page. I was so excited. I was expecting just to be throughout that day watching my phone and just having the notifications roll in of bang, $20, $40, and just start to really make some passive smart income, right? And that did not happen. And I figured, it's my first ad. I'll get back to the drawing board. It's not a big deal. So I kept arranging, because insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So I was trying different things. I was testing, I was trying to limit my variables in each test, but I was testing different things. And I still had 0 sales. And at this point, I was worth about $500 to my name. So when I'm spending all this money, I don't have a lot coming in. You can imagine that starts to create a sense of scarcity within me. I was kind of starting to doubt myself, and it wasn't the best feeling in the world, as you guys could imagine. So time went on, and I got 1 sale, and it was my mom, so that doesn't count. Throw it out the window. And then I decided, it was time that I just got so frustrated with it. I lost basically all my $500, and I needed to raise some capital, so I took a break. I went to some odd jobs like babysitting, ref some basketball, whatever it may be. And I made some more money. I decided to come back at it. But this time I was just so frustrated with Modern Dream Room. I literally just mentally threw that website out the window. That was gone. I just didn't want to think about it. So I started a new website called Gary's Gadgets. And this time I wanted to do something that was scaring me before. There's something called Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And it looked so confusing. I opened it up once and I was like, okay, I'll stick to DMing people on Instagram. It's a lot simpler. But I decided this time I was going to learn it. And so what happened then with that website is now with Instagram ads, it allowed me to target my target audience and Facebook ads much more specifically, okay, which was huge, to show people who are interested in the product I have and put it right in front of their face. So I ran it through, did my ads and whatnot, and I actually started to get sales, My revenue started to go up for the first time, and it was very exciting. But the problem was with the business method I was doing, it's called drop shipping, okay? And that's selling products from a distributor in China and selling them directly to the consumer and basically running the advertising for them, okay? Which means that I just contact somebody in China, because we have a global market today, right? And I'm like, hey, can we get this price for this product that you guys have? And they're like, yeah. So then if I get somebody who says they want to buy that product on my website, I contact them again and then tell them to ship it directly to whoever bought that, and I keep the profit. You know, if I'm selling it for $20 and I only paid $3.72 to get it and ship it, then I keep all the profit, you know? And of course I have advertising expenses too, which is the biggest expense. But, so that started to work a lot better, okay? And yeah, my revenue though, it would go up and down like this. Because in that business method, there's a lot of people doing it because it's easy. You know, you carry no overhead, no inventory, no actual physical product. I never saw any of the products. So the problem with that was there were a lot of people doing it, so I had to test a lot of products because there were a lot of people in the same space as I was. And at the end, I just really wasn't making a lot of money because, like I said, it was a graph that looked like this, okay? So what I ended up doing is I took a step back. And I said, I learned a high-income skill, which is Facebook and Instagram ads, okay? I learned how to make a website. I learned these things. My main problem is my product, okay? So how can I get a better product or service to sell for what I already know how to promote? So I started going to businesses, offering myself as a service now. It's called SMMA, or Social Media Marketing Agency, and my agency is called Lyra Media. And literally just offering the same Facebook and Instagram advertising services because they're not commonly known in the business world. And it is a difficult skill to develop, and it does take time and money. And so I started to, perform those services for businesses, and it's been going a lot better since then. I'm actually looking to get back into e-commerce now that I've gained a lot more capital from that, because e-commerce still is a very good niche to be in, selling online. But yeah, that's where I built it up so far. So I'm here today for two main reasons. The first one is a selfish reason, okay? It's because I want to become a better speaker. So what am I doing? I'm speaking in front of people, public speaking, right? And the second one is a not so selfish reason. It's because I honestly enjoy helping people. Okay? If you follow my content on any platform, YouTube, Instagram, you'll see that I'm very engaged with providing value to my audience and the people who want value from me, right? And helping them out. So it's something that I've always done throughout my life. It used to just be my friends, and now I'm trying to scale it up and help more people in those platforms. Okay, so I have 3 keys today that I want you guys to really focus on. Just 3 things. And those 3 things are think differently, act differently, and be passionate. And these 3 things have what's helped me grow exponentially as a person. Like, oh gosh, when I was in middle school, I honestly cared about sports, girls, hanging out with my friends, video games. That was about it. I never really thought anything about personal development or whatnot. But if you focus on these 3 things, you'll definitely reap the benefits I know I have in my personal life. Okay, so the first one, think differently. I have a quote up here I like. It's, you must change your mind before you can change your life. Okay? A lot of people want to just jump right into something. And that's how I was too when I started with business. I just want to jump into it and make money. But if you don't start with really working on your mind and your mindset and how you think about things, and you know all those things that great entrepreneurs, the most successful people in the world do, then you're going to fall short at some point in your journey. So you really have to have a strong mind in order to really get somewhere in the long term. So I have a little diagram I threw together here. Very artistic, I know. I was always great at art. So we got Buck and Alfred up here, right? My boys. So they had the same schedule. They wake up, that emoji got, I don't know, but it was a cereal bowl. they eat, they get in the car, they go get, go get their clothes with their mom at the Kohl's. They get back in the car this day, they go home, they eat, they study for school, they get back in the car, go to basketball practice, get back in the car, go home, eat again, work on their business, and go to bed, okay? And they both have the exact same schedule. And there's one huge difference between Buck and Alfred. Like, I mean ginormous. I'm not talking about a little bit, like ginormous. And I'll show you right now, okay? Buck is like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, this sucks. Like, I have to do all this stuff, I have no free time. And Alfred is, I'm busy because I'm blessed with opportunities. What Alfred realizes is that there are literally children in Africa, in Haiti, Tanzania, all these countries, Sudan, like, who literally just wish for the opportunity to have safety and food. Yet here, both of them are with both those things and choices and freedom and the ability to build their own business, which all of you have today, right now. And just that mindset of actually realizing that that is like one of the most important things you can do, and realizing that if you are grateful for what you have, you're gonna get so much further along the way. Because you could go homeless in this country and still be better off than a lot of people in this world, okay? Now, do I want you guys to go homeless? No, I don't. But what I'm saying is there's so much more to earn from our opportunities that we have in this country than are offered to so many people in the whole world that we take for granted every day. Because we were just born in this country. So always keep that mindset. Whenever somebody asks me if I'm busy or whatever, I'm like, I'm busy in a good way. Okay, because it's easier to understand, but that's always what I'm thinking. I'm busy because I'm blessed with opportunities. Okay? So, I'm going to give you some example that people think differently about. The first one is perspective. Okay? This is a glass of milk. Some people say it's half full, half empty. You know, that's the thing that we just talked about right there, is perspective. And that's huge because your perspective literally shapes the world around you. How you see things. Some people, they can literally have a glass almost all the way full, and they'll feel like it's empty. They feel like they weren't given anything, like they don't have anything. Some people have just a little bit in their glass, just a little bit, and they'll still be able to make a full glass out of it by the end of their life and really build that up. Like, and that is huge in all how you're thinking and how you see the world around you. Okay, second one up here is empathy. Now, like I told you guys earlier, I really did enjoy helping people throughout my journey and where I've got today, and I still do. And one thing that's helped me so much in business and just as a friend to others in my personal life is called empathy. And that's just your ability, yes, exactly, to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Okay, and not just think about that for a second, but really just digest that and think to yourself, like, how would I feel if I had this situation with this, and really breaking it down? And you'll never get there 100% because you'll never know exactly what somebody else is feeling and thinking. But to be able to do that, not only will you succeed in your personal life, but it'll also help you succeed in business when you can think about that for your end consumer, okay? Who you're selling to, if it's another business, their pain points, how you can make them feel secure about those with your service, with your product. You know, a lot of those different things. Empathy will not only help you in business, but in real life. And yeah, it's just been huge for me with, honestly, everything I've done. So the next point up here, it's just a question, like, why not me, like, for you guys? A lot of times I see people acting like they can't do something, but then I'm like, why? Like, Bill Gates is a human, Steve Jobs is a human, like, all these people have been successful. Even on a micro level, if you're talking about happiness, which you should be aiming for, right? So you'd rather be happy than be rich and sad. Like, everyone in here has the ability to be happy. And if entrepreneurship is your tool, yeah, exactly, to make you happy, then that's great. Like, use that tool and you'll be happy if you really enjoy the process of doing it. You know, but if you're motivated just by the money, which I was at first, but then I fell in love with the process as I found out about what it's actually about, then that's where you're actually going to be happy. You're going to win in the long run. Okay. I got a power phrase I like to think about whenever I get nervous about something. It's just this: if I can get through this, I can get through anything. I literally tell myself that over and over and over again in my head. And if somebody's not in the room, I'll literally just say, if I can get through this, I can get through anything. I'll just say it over and over, and I'll sound stupid, and I don't care. Because in my mind, it just helps me. It's like, and it's true. If you can get through that one thing you're struggling with, and you tell yourself that, and you persevere, and you keep doing that with all the obstacles you come across that you want to overcome, like, you're going to overcome them, you know, but you have to have that mindset. Because so many people, they just have a statement that's, I can't do this. You know, they don't have a question that's, why not me? A question opens up the brain. A statement shuts it down. Okay? Self-awareness. Self-awareness, huge part of something that isn't really like taught in schools or something, but it's very important to realize, you know, your unique abilities and what you have and leveraging that in business. So if you're very good at sales and interacting with people, you're an extrovert, and you have a partnership, right? You might want somebody who's more analytical with the numbers and realize that, but it's for whatever situation you're in. Like for me, if I'm gonna partner up with somebody, if I'm super outgoing, like yeah, I can have another person that's outgoing, but I want them to have a skill set that complements mine. So just being self-aware of what you're good at and what your natural weaknesses are, and instead of trying to build your weaknesses to be strengths, because that's very hard to do, leverage your strengths and have other people, outsource your weaknesses or automate them and have other people help you with those, and you'll get a lot further. And this all makes up your mindset, okay? So I talked about it, and you guys know why that's so important. It's your foundation if you want to build a skyscraper. You try to build that skyscraper with no foundation, it will stay for a month, a year, 2 years, but it'll come crumbling down. And you don't want that. So really start and build that up so you guys can be successful in the long run. Especially at the age you guys are at right now. Gosh, if you could start now, I'm looking at some future millionaires. If you guys really want to be entrepreneurs. If you don't, and you figure that out, that's great. Like, do what makes you happy. But if that's what you want to pursue, like I'm super excited for you guys. Okay, the second part here is act differently. Okay? You do not get strong from thinking about push-ups or reading about push-ups. It's true, right? So when I was doing research, especially in my beginning, like I thought I was getting so much better because I was reading all these things and watching all these videos, and look how my first website went. I didn't actually start to improve until I jumped in the game, until I jumped in the market, and started actually doing. Because it's like getting strong. Like for some reason, people think entrepreneurship and working out is a lot different. It really isn't. It's like if you want to get strong, you have to eat, get sleep, and work out like the correct way. And it takes work ethic. And that's something like you can't get strong from reading about that. You can read about something like a certain technique to working out and then apply it and get stronger that way. But you actually have to do the action to increase your ability. Okay, so examples of acting differently. I love this saying. It's 80% out the door is better than 100% in the drawer. Okay? And what that means is that it's better to not know something completely and to do it than to keep all of yourself reserved from not doing it. That's literally me here today. Do you guys think I'm an expert on public speaking at all? No, not at all. But guess what? I'm putting myself out the door. I'm pushing myself, and that's how you get better. It's almost impossible to start at 100%. You have to build your way up. And just to give that effort, and the 80%, a lot of it's your mindset and just a little bit of research and getting into it, that's gonna get you guys so much further than ever thinking oh, I can't do that. I'm not a professional in that, or I haven't studied that for X amount of years or whatever it may be. Just, believe in yourself, do your research and actually apply that, putting yourself out there. That's huge. Okay, education versus self-education. Now, education, what you receive in school, that'll make you guys a living, right? If that's what you want to do. But if you want to make a fortune, then self-education is something that you're going to need to continue throughout your life. Completely. And self-education has helped me. Literally everything with my business has come from YouTube videos, courses, reading books that weren't handed to me in school. And I'm not shooting school down, but what I'm saying is that there are skills that just aren't taught in our current system. And you need to educate yourself and try to achieve those skills and other methods. Being here right now today, that's great. Taking those steps and doing other things to help you in the long run. Okay, smarter, not harder. A lot of people think, if I want to be a successful entrepreneur, I have to work harder. I have to work more hours, do more of this, that. But what I say is you have to work harder at working smarter, okay? You have to figure out ways to either leverage what you're already doing, because think about it, if I'm working my full day all by myself, and that's what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to be the lone wolf of the pack, just going out there, you can only maximize your hours and you can only do so much work. But if you bring other people onto your team, and say even if you're working half of what you'd be working alone, and they're working half of what you work, you're still gonna end up getting further, you know what I mean? If you guys are all working smaller hours, but leveraging that. And then same with my business method of social media marketing. The ads I run, once they're set up, a lot of it is just making adjustments daily. It's not I have to sit behind my computer all day and that's how I make my money. I don't have any other free time to personally develop and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's finding ways to work smarter and thinking like, look at the top companies in the world. They all found ways to outsource, and the internet's a huge way to work smarter, like creating different algorithms, and that's something that's like pretty, not advanced. Any of you could do it, but I don't think it's been introduced at this point at all, but like programming, coding, all that stuff, if you can find ways to do that, or even just using outsourcing and networking like you guys just worked on, that'll help you a lot later. And I got something for networking and working smarter with that coming up in a little bit. Okay, your habits and your inputs. These things are almost the same word to me. You usually hear habits, but I kind of like inputs better, because a lot of people, what they do is they find a goal. You guys have goals, right? Like something you kind of want to do, or an idea of like you want to improve to do something. You don't know what it is, but you know that you want to work to improve it, right? So when you find your like goal or what you want to do, like look at somebody who's successfully done that and they're happy, and really study what they input into their life to get to that position. You know, what actions did they take daily? You know, what were they inputting? Because if you just focus on the output, you might get lucky and you might get there if you work hard and work smart, right? But if you focus on the daily inputs to get to that output, it's almost inevitable you're gonna get there. You know what I mean? If you're inputting the right stuff into your machine every single day, then like you're just gonna keep growing and getting better. And exponential growth is one of the most powerful things in the world. If you guys know who Warren Buffett is, he mastered exponential growth. He's not a genius. He's very smart, don't get me wrong, but he mastered exponential growth. He realized that doing the same thing and getting really good at it and having that grow over time, like 1% a day is a huge amount if you keep compounding that. Okay, subconscious mind, something not taught in school. By show of hands, how many of you know what the subconscious mind is? Totally cool if you don't. Okay, so the subconscious mind, right, for those of you who don't, it makes up 95% of your life. 95% of your decisions on your day are decided with your subconscious mind, okay? Now that is something huge. If any of you can realize that that's a significant number, right? Like 95%, that's basically, not basically 100, but it's like right there. So if you don't ever work on your subconscious mind, like you're leaving a big part of your ability way, way underdeveloped. And that's something I honestly don't know why, but it's not brought up in school, is how to work on your subconscious mind and reprogram that. So that's something where you guys have to take into account for the self-education on your subconscious mind, and then actually the action to apply that, right? Okay, and these are things where, you know, acting differently. Like I said, most people don't do these things. You have to act differently and think differently, okay? Your environment. Okay, some people honestly think that their environment won't affect them. They're like, yeah, you know, I have my willpower, my strength to do what I want. Like, I could work in this, that, it won't matter too much. That's just not true. Like, I guarantee, if you guys are working on studying for a test, hypothetically, and you have your phone right next to you, you're gonna be, yeah. But here's the thing, right? Same exact situation, same exact test. You take that phone, you put it in the basement, you put it in another room, you're gonna be way more productive. Just because humans like convenience. And if you change your environment to benefit you in more of those ways, like you're gonna start to reap those results. And same with like flossing. Like there have literally been studies showing that literally taking your floss and putting it by your toothbrush increases the amount that people floss exponentially. Not because their knowledge changed about it, it's just because their environment changed. So set your environment up for success, because a lot of people really, their phone is gonna steal their fortune, okay? And that's something that I'm still working on too, because every now and then I get distracted. I have to literally put my phone in another drawer under my bed, like, and just not worry about it. Otherwise, it's gonna steal my money, and I don't like that. Yeah, exactly. But it's myself doing it to me. So it's like, I'm the only one accountable. Okay, and the last one is sacrifice, okay? If you guys, and like I said, some of you will end up really liking entrepreneurship as you dive further into it. Some of you won't, and that's completely fine. But you're gonna have to sacrifice, okay? You're gonna have to work smarter, but you're gonna have to give up a lot of things. Like me, I'm on summer break. I don't hang out with my friends that often, not because I don't like them, it's because I'm so motivated on my mission, and I have a goal I want to reach, and I realize the inputs that I need to put into my life, and going to the beach 4 times a week isn't one of those. Okay, playing Xbox every night isn't one of those. In middle school, I did that kind of stuff. In middle school, I didn't have these goals. If you guys can set this up right now, like, oh gosh, I'm jealous of you guys that you have the extra time. Like, I'm literally, I'm not much older, but like 4 more years of what I've been doing, I would have loved it. But yeah, so I don't dwell on the past though, but I'm just saying that to let you guys like realize it's hard to see when you're in something. To look back at it, it's always easier. So try to make the proactive decision now. Okay, my third rule is to be passionate. Okay, so what sets your soul on fire? I mean, to me, like, here's the thing. That's such a powerful question, because if you do know the answer to that, then all the things I talked about sacrifice and whatnot, like that won't feel like a sacrifice. It'll just feel like fun. Like some people, my friends ask me like, dude, come on, you have to go to the party, you have to go to the beach, like you gotta have some fun. I'm like, I am having fun. Like, and I still like my friends, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I set my environment up for success. You know, when I'm hanging around friends, especially if some of them, you know, may not be making the smartest decisions, and I'm following those footsteps, like, for me, for the lifestyle I want in the long run, it doesn't align, okay? It doesn't. And that's a hard decision you guys are all gonna have to make, and there's gonna be lots of peer pressure, but that's why you have to think differently and act differently, right? If you wanna end up like, you know, somebody who you just don't wanna be, but you're acting like that person, and you like still realize it, but you're like, oh, I won't end up like them. Like, that's just insanity. So don't be like that. Be passionate. Now, what if I don't know what my passion is? Maybe one of you guys or a few of you know what it is, but I wouldn't expect any of you to know at this age, and I don't even completely know what my passion is. I know the direction I'm going and what I'm passionate about, but I don't know what the apex of my life that I want to work towards is. And if you don't know, I'll give you the solution. Yeah. Try. You have to try different things until you do. Like, you can be like, oh, I don't know, I'm waiting. What? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, you're waiting for somebody else to do your goals? Like, to accomplish your mission? Like, you have to be proactive and do it for yourself. Like, nobody's gonna hand it to you, your passion. You have to try different things. Literally make yourself uncomfortable all the time. And I'll get further into that later. But yeah, so try new things until you know what you're passionate about. And when you know, like, you'll know. You won't be like, I don't know if I'm passionate about this. You'll be like, yeah, you know, there are certain things that I have to grind through, but like my end goal and my vision of like where I'm going and what I'm passionate about is so strong that these little things don't even faze me. Like, I'm just so motivated to actually accomplish what I'm on this earth to do. Okay, if you do know, make it your income. No, you can.
Yeehaw,
My
Bart.
passion's the ocean and ocean life. We live in Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly. No, you can, yeah. First off, you could work for a company, right? But say if you want to be an entrepreneur, there's something called Instagram today, right? And let me tell you something. You can start a page with literally stuff from the ocean that you're passionate about on Instagram. And if you actually engage and target the right people, that you can grow that and start your own business that way, like in today's day and age. Like, and a lot of people, they'll say that, and if they start to do it and it doesn't work after 2 months, 3 months, they'll give up. And I'm like, if it's your passion, you're not going to give up after that much. Because I'll tell you right now, you're not going to get significant traffic in that amount of time. Maybe, but the odds are definitely against that. But if you keep going in the long run, they'll be with you. Okay? And even on top of that, later in life too, there'll be other opportunities to do stuff with the ocean. That was just an example for right now. All right, recap. Think differently. Act differently, and be passionate, okay? Those 3 things I really want you guys to take away today. And try to think about, you know, your mindset and those different examples and the action that you actually have to input into your life. Okay? So you guys may be asking, well, Gavin, how do we know that these work? And how can we start this summer, right? And Kevin Hart's wondering too, yeah. So, okay. So this is a little blurred out, but I'll still read it in here. So I have a problem, right? This is a problem I had a few months ago, okay? The problem was I wanted to learn more about Facebook ads and Instagram ads. Like I told you guys, you know, my business revolves around it. But YouTube has too many like fake entrepreneurs, bad information, and I told you guys that, right? It has good and bad, but the only way you really find out is through testing, through testing your method. And that's what I did with like in market, right? You have to do push-ups to get strong, you have to test it to get better. And yeah, so that was my problem. I wanted to get better, but YouTube, there's so much information and a lot of it wasn't good. So I was looking for another way of receiving this, okay? And my solution that I thought of, and there's multiple solutions, but the one I wanted to do was learn it in person from an expert in the field. Now that sounds pretty good, right? To receive some one-on-one training from somebody who's actually done what you want to do or part of what you want to do. Okay, so let me go back for 1 second. So what I did actually was, this is my phone. I searched, it's hard to see at the top, but I searched social media marketers in Madison, Wisconsin. Okay? Literally something that you all have accessible. If you don't have a phone and you don't have a computer, there's literally public libraries. Like you can get this, right? So, exactly, you got one. And then what I did was I actually clicked on this bottom website right here. You can't really see the text, it's blurred, but it says it's Amplify, which is a social media marketing agency here in Madison. Okay? I clicked on it. And I went to the About page, and this is what's on the About page. At the end of who the people are, there's one person here. His name's Spencer X. Smith, okay? And right under his name it says founder, okay? So you'll either see like founder, owner, CEO, and he has founder. Now one thing I already noticed after I went through this website is I liked that he was at the end after everyone else. He wasn't at the start. A lot of great leaders, and write this down because this is important. A lot of great leaders eat last, meaning they put their team first. They don't even reap the rewards of their business until years down the road. And if they're passionate about it, it's not going to feel like work, You're feeding your team first. You're helping those people first. I mean, think about it from a team standpoint. If you're working for somebody who's always putting you first and really pushing you to be your best, you're going to want to work harder for that person. You're going to want to stay there. You're going to want to grow with that person. They care about you. They're feeding you first. Leaders eat last, okay? And that's one thing that it's not a for sure that it was like this, but I already alluded it in my mind that he might be one of those leaders, so I like that. Okay? So what I did was I took his name and I put it into Google. All right? And remember, all you guys can do this. I took his name, I put it into Google. And I searched, Spencer X. Smith, and little do you know, he has a website. So guess what I did?
Went to the website.
Hey, you know what's up. Okay, so I clicked on the website, and then, did you guys see literally what's right on his website when you click that little hamburger menu that pulls it down? It's his freaking phone number. So guess what I did after that?
You called the number.
Yes, exactly. There's one minor step in between that, but what I did was I researched his company more. I found what his problems were with his company, tried to find some kind of pain point, some kind of struggle, something I could help him with. Because I'm a digital marketer and I already have some knowledge in it, so I found something with Instagram that I knew I could help to grow his account. And so what I did is after I identified this solution to a problem that he could potentially be having, I called him, okay? And I was pretty nervous too. I've done cold calls for my business before, which is like calling a business straight up, without them knowing who you are. Nobody likes those. And it's a scary thing to do as a person. It made me really uncomfortable. And I'm kind of shivering, but it's the same thing for this. He doesn't know who I am, and I'm about to ask him for something, and without him even knowing. But I'm trying to provide more value, right? And that's my hope for why he'll accept my proposal. It's because I'm trying to provide more value through this Instagram service, right, that I'm teaching him about, which is something huge. If you guys are going to ask for something from somebody, try to provide them more value. And if you don't know something right now and how you can, either figure it out, or I'll give you something that you guys all have that you can offer, which is your time. Okay, you can literally offer to work for free. Or if you want to get around someone who you really admire, you can be like, hey, give me the top 10 things you hate doing and let me do them. Just to be in your vicinity, just to be around somebody who's playing the game at your level. To learn that way, because we learn a lot from observing too. You observe that and then you put that into action. Like that's huge. You know, if you put yourself in that environment with really successful people, what your environment impacts you. So what do you think you're going to become? Exactly. Yeah. Really successful, a good person. Okay. So, oh wait, let me tell you about the phone call. So I call him up, and I'm like, hey, this is Gavin from Lake Mills. I'm just calling because I noticed that you run a digital marketing agency, and I also run one. And I found something with Instagram that I really think I could help you with. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, and we talked a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, so if I could just ask you some questions as well, you know, sit down for, you know, a brief meeting somewhere, like that would be much appreciated. And he literally was so impressed by my ability just to offer him value up front and not just ask to pick his brain, you know, talk to him, that we talked for 18 minutes, right? And so I'm already getting value. He's never even seen me. He doesn't know who I am. Right? I could have been in middle school. I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm a senior at Lake Mills High School, because he asked later, like, you know, like more about me. But my point is, like, you guys can do this stuff too. All right. So this is if they don't have a phone number, right? If they don't have a phone number, this is an app called LinkedIn. How many know what LinkedIn is? Okay. Okay, so all of you write this down, get a LinkedIn. Everyone.
I think you can only do it if you're 13 or older.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
So is everybody 13 in here or older? Almost everybody.
Even if you're not 13, it's still probably fine.
You can usually
Oh, no, we're going to
lie,
get
but you better ask your
arrested.
parents first.
Yeah. So,
They're on the app. Yes, I never did.
okay. So with this, right? He has a LinkedIn profile, which is basically like a social media for business. Okay? It's like a social media for business. And that sounds kind of boring to a lot of you guys, but if it's one of your goals, right, and something you're passionate about, you'll find it interesting, you know, just at least the networking aspect of it. And so if he didn't have a phone number, this is what I would have done. I've done this with other people. I'm just using him as an example since we are already, you know, you guys already know who Spencer is, my good friend. So I would look him up on LinkedIn. As you can see, I did Spencer at Smith. He comes. Now there'd be one difference. This blue button right here would say connect instead of message, which means that I'm going to connect with him. And if you're going to do this, write this down too so you don't forget. Do it from a computer, because what you can do on a computer is you can send a personal message when you have that connection request, okay? Because if they deny your connection request, that's like they're cut off basically from you. Like you can't get in touch with them via LinkedIn. Do you have a question? Yeah.
If you go back a couple of slides, when you first looked up Spencer X Smith, he did have his phone number on at the very beginning.
Yeah, well, you can do that too. I'm just showing you a method that will work for more businesses, yeah, and whatnot. But that's if you see it then too, you could also dive in that way.
And you can't do the note on your phone. So if you try to do it on your phone, it won't let you add a note when you're connecting with somebody. So that's why he's telling you to do it from a computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have to do the connection request on the computer, because then you can add a personal note to it and you can say, hey, like, and for me it's like, hey, I'm Gavin Lira. And if it's somebody you know, I know, like I research like Spencer, I'll talk a little bit about like what I do and kind of how it relates to him, and just I'd like to, you know, stay up to date with what he's doing and and make that connection. So once I'm in and whatnot, you know, I'd send, you know, something that's, or even like for the first initial one, you could say like, hey, I'm 18, and this is for me. I'm an 18-year-old aspiring entrepreneur, and this is basically the same phone call I had with them, right? But there's just like, and this was just typed up quick. Like if I were gonna do that, I'd put a little more effort into it for real. But yeah, literally sending those to people who you want to meet up with. That is, you guys will get a meeting if you continue to do this through people. Because somebody will definitely roll the dice on you, and they'll take that bet that, you know, this person who's young, who's reaching out to me at such a young age and actually has interest and value, you know, like they can provide some kind of value to me. Like that's something that's very interesting that they almost never get approached by people of this age. So, you know, some people think, oh, it's a bad thing. Oh, they won't take you seriously. Some people won't, some people will, right? You have to look at its perspective, glass half full. So do this to somebody you admire in your space that you can either, I mean, you could try doing with somebody who's out of state and then, you know, like have a Skype call with them or something, but if you want to meet up with someone in person who you admire in the business world right now, this is a way to literally get that person in front of you. Okay? So, this is the result from my meeting with Spencer, which you can't read it all, and I don't want to read it all, but my point is, on my third point of being passionate, this perfectly displays what I'm saying. Before, I thought differently, I thought, how can I, solve this problem? Most people would just kind of give up or whatever, but I thought differently. I thought out of the box, right? And then I applied the action into actually doing the steps that most people wouldn't do, right? I actually went through all this process on the phone call when I've done that. Okay, and now I'm passionate in the meetup because it's something I am passionate about. I don't have to fake it. Like, if you're faking something, then you're not doing the right thing, you know what I mean? Like, I can easily connect with this guy because I'm very passionate, and he's passionate about the same thing. So here we are, having a dialogue about our businesses, about how to help each other, and about life as a whole, and the journey, and what I'm sharing with you today, many of the same stuff was covered. So, this is the result though. When you're that passionate and somebody realizes it, they see a lot of value in you as a person. And like, it was like a whole, like little mini segment on basically my meetup with me. And he states in it too that he appreciated how I brought value, and that's what mainly impressed him straight up. And yeah, so this right here is a result of being passionate. And then there's the picture too. And from this, you guys, on LinkedIn, 290 or 270 likes is a lot, and like the 97 comments were a lot too. So what I did though, and literally why I'm here today, is because I went through each person who liked that photo, and I sent them a personal message based on what their profession was and what I knew about them. I literally went through on my computer, and I had split screens, and every single person who liked that, and I sent them all a personal message. Okay, that's acting differently and actually applying it. Most people would be like, oh my gosh, it took me hours. Like I sat down and grinded it out. But I'm reaping the benefit because I put in that work. And I wasn't sitting there the whole time like, oh, this sucks. Because I had that perspective of like, I'm blessed with opportunities. Like here I am, like with the opportunity to connect with potentially 270 people. Like clearly I didn't connect personally with all of them, but yeah. So what did this specific event get me? Right? What did this event give me that any of you could do? It got me a great relationship with a great person, right? Spencer, like I said, we had an amazing dialogue, and he honestly is a very good person. Somebody I look up to still in the business space. And not only as a business leader, but as a person too who I aspire to be more like. And that's something that's very valuable. You want to learn from successful people that are also good, happy people, right? Okay, relationships with others as well. I told you all those individual messages I sent out, like I connected with some of those people, and I met up with some more of them too, and developed even more relationships. I'm just using one as an example right now. 2 internship offers before I went to college. Now most people, even when they get to college, sometimes they'll struggle to get an internship, okay? So I had 2 offers before I even announced that I was going to college. And the thing is, like, the reason that happened is because I thought and acted differently, and I was passionate. Like, it's those 3 steps. And big companies, took a bet on an 18-year-old, and I literally, actually, one of the internship offers I had, I'm actually fulfilling right now, because that company I'm working with is going to hit $1 billion in revenue this year, and I'm one of the top marketing people for that, right? Because because I understand this high income skill, and now I have this opportunity to work with this bigger budget and do something that's very outside of my realm of working with just smaller businesses. It was a great opportunity for me, not only just to make money, but to learn. That's the most important thing. When you work, try to work to learn, okay? Don't work to earn, work to learn. Because your self-education is going to make you that fortune. That is what is going to make you very rich, if that's your goal. Your goal is to be happy and have a lot of money to fulfill your dreams and your goals. Work to learn, okay? Have that mindset. Okay, I also got a client from Lyra Media from this. I didn't try to sell anybody, but what happened is after one of my meetings with somebody, I basically did sell them just because they bought into what I was doing so much and they wanted me to help their company with that. So literally just by doing this, I also acquired a client, right? By going out and doing that, which is something where once you guys start selling, and promoting products, or if you have a partner that does that, because you're not good at selling, right, hypothetically, then that will be something that will be very valuable. You'll see, every client you value. Okay, a great start to LinkedIn. Before this, I just kind of had a LinkedIn. I wasn't really active on it. After that, I've been trying to get more active. I still want to keep a balance of actually producing, content and actually doing work, in my business and whatnot, because that is what's the most important at the end of the day. But yeah, it was a great start to my LinkedIn. I connected with a lot of great people and started to have a little bit of a influence and following on there. And it was a chance to push my comfort zone and grow. Okay? Now earlier I referenced the comfort zone. Your comfort zone, if you were to draw a circle and put everything you have in your comfort zone right now, everything you have, draw one circle here and draw another circle here. And you don't have to put them all down here, but do this later. Okay? If you were to draw those two circles, put everything you have in one of them, that's everything that is currently in your comfort zone. And in the other one, put everything you want. You're gonna need to go out of your comfort zone to get that. Okay, so you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because a lot of times I hear people saying, oh, you have to do something that always makes you comfortable, always do something that makes you comfortable. I'm on the opposite side of that. Because I realize the benefit of being uncomfortable and pushing yourself. Right? If you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, like cold calling somebody, that's how you grow. You know what I mean? I'm not saying do something stupid and do that to be uncomfortable, but I mean in a reconciled manner. Push yourself in that manner, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable and unsure. That's how you grow. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Why couldn't you do this? Does anyone in here, and I'm not going to get mad or anything, I'm honestly wondering, think that they couldn't do this?
I can do this.
Exactly. If you put into actions, if you're passionate, if you think differently, act differently, and you actually apply and put in your inputs, you can. But don't be delusional and say you can't, and then go play 5 hours of Xbox and go to the beach. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. You have to keep that balance. Because I believe any of you guys could do it if you want to. I'm happy that nobody said they couldn't do it, because you guys can. I wouldn't have got mad if you said that. It's just the mindset shift, You really got to keep your mind open. Okay, this is my favorite quote. I love this quote. I wish I would have ran into this before I chose my quote for my yearbook. I still love my yearbook one, but this one's even better. Okay, the reasonable person adapts themselves to the world. The unreasonable one persists in adapting the world to themselves. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable person. Now, what that basically means, broken down real quick, is a lot of times you grow up and you hear you have to be reasonable. You have to, do this just like everyone else does it. You have to go to college. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to, work a 9 to 5. And if that makes you happy, then do it. I'm saying be happy. What I'm saying is if you're unreasonable and you're doing something that's different, that other people are looking at you like you're weird, that's gonna happen. You're gonna get a lot of criticism. But the best way to get criticism or to avoid criticism is to do nothing. Okay? And I don't think you guys want to do that. So you have to understand you're gonna get that criticism, but that's how you're actually going to change the world, if that's one of your goals. Okay? You can't change the world doing what everyone else does. You have to be unreasonable and do something outside of your comfort zone, outside of a lot of people's, something that you believe in or are passionate about. Okay, so thank you guys so much, and thank you, Julie, for reaching out and making this a possibility. It was great to be here. If you guys would like to follow up with me and actually shoot me a DM about any questions you have after this, or any struggles in your own business, or any suggestions, just hit me up on my Instagram. It's gavin.lera. And then if you want to connect on LinkedIn or YouTube, it's Gavin Lera on those. But yeah, I'm going to open this up to any questions that you guys have, if you got any.
You would think they would.
Yeah, what's up?
So you started your business when you were a senior?
Oh, I started when I was a junior. Yeah. So, before that, I honestly thought business was just a whole bunch of dudes sitting behind a computer, not really liking their life. And I was like, yeah, that's not what I want to do. But then, I actually, realized what business is. And I dove into it, and I realized that it offers so many possibilities and opportunities. Now that we live in this world that like you can make a business out of oceans. You couldn't have done that like 30 years ago without the internet. It would have been way harder. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no. So yeah, that's when I started.
Thank goodness for the recommended section on YouTube.
I know, right? Like, God bless. It's amazing. That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes it's awful.
It's better than it is worse.
My brother calls it clickbait, and then he calls me clickbait because I click on it.
Yeah, I mean, it
That's
definitely
what YouTube has
is.
become.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Did you have one?
It's just like
Yeah. Your first idea was that website selling interior decorating stuff. How long were you working on that idea before you switched to digital marketing?
That is a great question. Okay, so that was about for like 4 or 5 months. I don't remember the exact amount. It was in that time period though. And yeah, so it was like a struggle with me working on that so much, and I got so frustrated with it. But I knew like that I started to adjust my goals more to like what I liked. You know what I mean? I realized that like, hey, like I need to make some money, and I want to do it like in this way. I'm still passionate about the process and trying, so I'm gonna do that. But I'm gonna restructure it, you know, with something that I think I'll be better, like have more success in it. Okay.
How do you figure out how to turn a passion that wouldn't necessarily make money on its own to something that would?
Okay. So you're saying like a passion that isn't like it's something that isn't like conventional, like it's something that's not usually thought of, something that can make you money.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, that is your question, right? Like just to clarify. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm answering it right. Okay. So the way that I would recommend is utilizing your internet and leverage that way. Like that's something where if you asked me that question like 30 years ago, it almost would have been impossible, or you would have just had to really know the right people and get connected, which is why networking is still important, like you guys were practicing earlier. But definitely networking and using other people and like not using them, but like providing value, you know, and having that mutual benefit to leverage your way up. And then also through the internet, leveraging the different platforms that you can to build around your passion, and then create enough attention around whatever it may be that you could actually start that. And if you have a specific one you want to talk about, shoot me a DM, and I'll talk about it more with you later. Okay.
Okay, this is like a multi-step question.
That's okay. I got a multi-step answer.
Okay, so you started out doing the interior designing. Was that your passion to begin with?
Nope.
How did you come up with that idea? Because I'm like, why did you pick that?
I answered both. When I started, I wanted one thing. I'm assuming you guys can guess what that one thing is.
Money.
Yeah. And that's why it failed initially too. I didn't care about the process. I just wanted to take as many shortcuts as I could to make as much money as I could. Because I did that, guess how much money I made?
Zero.
Negative 500. So from that process. But in the long run, looking back at it, I've made multiple thousands because that's the education that set me up, you know, to start making money to the point where I'm at today. But your question was, how did I decide on that, the interior design? Okay, so yeah, it was money. I was looking at what there was a niche for, doing my research that way, and I found that, you know, there were trendy products like tapestries, salt lamps, essential oils, diffusers, that kind of stuff. And yeah, you guys got some or have some experience with it? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I was appealing to that audience, you know, and I was chasing money, which
Were
money.
you on Pinterest? Because that's where all those people are.
Pinterest, that's a good point. There are a lot of good platforms for your customer, and that's one thing too with actually the research that you do, you know, find out where your customer is, and then actually put that action into applying to reach them.
And how long did it take you to learn how to make the Facebook and Instagram ads? You said it was a difficult process for other people, but it sounded like it was really easy for you. So
No. The main reason why it's difficult for other people, first off, is because they use a statement instead of a question. They say, oh, that's technology, I can't do that, right? They use the statement instead of saying, how can I learn this? You know what I mean? And I asked, how can I learn this?
how long did it take you to learn it?
Yeah, the honest question is, I'm still learning it to this day because there's so much on it and so many ways to optimize it. But to the point where I actually started making money diving into that, it took me about like 2 months to actually like start making a decent amount. But that's like putting a lot of money into it too. So which isn't even a long time in the grand scheme of things. If you're scared by, it seems like a long time, but let me tell you something. Okay, my parents are about 50 years old, okay? And that's still young, right? Like, they still have a lot of life to live. It is. They still have a lot of life to live. And if you were to take your guys' age, like, how old are you? Like 12? Okay, if you were to multiply that by 3 even, like, you still wouldn't be to 50. Like, you're still falling short by a good amount of time. So if you live your whole life 3 times, you're still not as old as them, and they're still young. So 2 months is not a long time. You have a lot of time to learn and then earn, you know what I mean? That's why being passionate in the long run about whatever it may be is actually a lot smarter than just chasing that cash in the short run, right? So I could have multiplied that number by 4 too. I just chose 3 being conservative.
And even 4 isn't getting there. Even 4 isn't getting there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Exactly. So just think about that and be patient, but that doesn't mean don't do anything. It means do your research, but don't try to chase the short-term cash. You know, have the long-term vision. All right. Any question from this side of the room? You guys have been a little more quiet than this side. Don't be afraid. Like, I'm a friendly guy. You got it? It's my birthday.
It's your birthday today?
No, I said it's
Oh.
my birthday.
Oh.
It's Halloween, just so you guys know.
Oh, Halloween.
No. Any more questions?
Oh, it's actually on Halloween.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
See how you can connect with them and then you can wish them a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, is that all? All right, if you guys want to reach out, you got the method. I can definitely help you out with your business ventures. So yeah, I appreciate you all and thank you for your time and having me here.